This thing is so obnoxiously loud. To say that the E46 M3 is an enthusiast choice vehicle is quite an understatement. I mean, these things are extremely popular for very good reason. You get a actual M car for prices that are significantly lower than they were when brand new. I have something to admit though, I have actually never driven an E46 M3. This is the first time, and I'm especially excited because it's my good friend Ty's M3 that I've seen and been around a lot. From a pure performance perspective, this thing has a 3.2 liter straight six, which revs to an astronomical 8,000 RPM, which is awesome. 6-speed manual transmission. That engine made 333 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque when new. 0 to 60 happened in 4.5 seconds. It would run the quarter in 13.1 at 107, right around there. The thing is, those aren't the most impressive crazy numbers, but this thing is light, small, and fun to drive. A straight six engine that loves to rev, 6-speed manual, rear-wheel drive, good combination right there. Doesn't have all the issues of newer vehicles that have all the electronic aids and stuff like that. They're bigger and they're heavier. This thing genuinely is a lot of fun to drive. And Ty has had some really good modifications to it. He has a short throw shifter, front strut brace, let's see, the airlift V2 suspension, which you'll notice, obviously, airlift goes up and down. But a lot of people associate air suspension with poor handling vehicles. They think it'll ruin it, probably because a lot of cars that come with air suspension as standard are big boats. They're luxury focused. You get S-Class, Rolls Royces, stuff like that. But from a performance perspective, I've driven several cars that have performance air suspensions, and they still handle great. Though if properly set up, they'll ride fine and also still be able to corner really well. And you get the added benefit that you have total control over the ride height of your vehicle. This thing is decently quick, actually. Ty always says how it's not that fast, but I mean, I think it's a lot of fun. There's a combination of the engaging transmission, driving feel, and also the sound. The sound makes it feel a lot more fun and fast than it actually is. I really do love this car. I sort of regret not having driven these before. You can make them really fast. I have a friend with E46 M3 that's supercharged, which makes it obviously very fast. From a design perspective, I do love the E46. Originally, when I first started getting into cars, I wasn't a huge fan of them, but they have aged really well. Certain cars' design 15 years later, they just look antiquated, old, out of style. I think the E46 still can fit in with the proper updates, with the custom halo lights up there. I mean, BMW hasn't changed their halo theme in quite a long time, with LED taillights in the back, some nice carbon fiber touches. I do think this small little coupe still looks nice and modern. I think the proportions are great. Sometimes when you turn a sedan into a coupe, it just feels like it's too long, there's too much space behind the door. I think the E46 is good. From an interior perspective, this is typical BMW of this generation. You have the same steering wheel, same buttons, everything. I'll say it has held up quite well. This car has just under 80,000 miles, which is not that many for the year that it was built in. Maybe I should buy an E46 M3. That's not a bad idea. This car specifically is for sale, Phoenix yellow. Ty's thinking about getting something else. Maybe I should buy his car. But $22,000, all the details are below. Check out his Instagram, Mellow M3, I'll link it below. And also, he has a YouTube channel too, M3 Guy Ty, and he's been filming stuff behind the scenes. I've been around. Hopefully a lot of you guys have seen this car before. I think it's a great vehicle. I mean, I've enjoyed driving it truly. This is not the most ideal testing circumstances because it is snowy and cold, and driving a rear-wheel drive car with performance tires on it in the cold is never the most fun actually, it's fun. It's not the most performance-oriented combination. Some things that I dislike about the E46 M3, I definitely have to mention a couple of them. First of all, the sound. I've never really loved the way it sounds. This is a great engine. It makes some good power, nice linear, naturally aspirated, loves to rev. but especially with this one, it sounds all right now that I'm driving it in the cold, but there have been times where it's been too loud and it just sounds like a fart can and sounds like an angry lawnmower. Don't love it. Second thing is there's a few reliability issues you have to be careful with. Subframe issues have been a huge issue with E46 M3s. Ty hasn't had any issues with this car specifically, which is fortunate. Checks it very frequently, but I've heard some pretty bad horror stories. You can reinforce it, and it can make it less of a big issue, but definitely something to look out for if you want to buy one of these. And then vanos. There's a lot of, you need to do your research when you're buying a BMW, especially an older one, and be prepared to budget aside some money for maintenance. But if you do and you're prepared to figure all that out, these are some pretty rewarding vehicles to drive. Definitely, I understand why they're so popular among the enthusiast marketplace. And for the money, I mean, it's pretty hard to beat to get a car in this price range that's as fun and has the prestige and history and looks. Overall, I've been really impressed with this E46. If you want to go down to a more, you still want this DNA of this age, this time period of vehicle and the style of BMW that was being made, you can go down to an E46 regular 330i or something like that. The ZHPs are also great cars, but I mean, you get to own an M3. If you think about BMW, that's what comes to mind, the M3. This is a legend, and it will be a legend in the future. Hope you guys really like this video. Special thanks again to Ty. Check him out on Instagram and such. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks for watching.